Hey computer, so just the other day I shared the news of patch 4.0 and what do the devs go ahead and do? That's right, they've launched a new update, patch 4.1 right now. Let's run through it and see what changes have already come round. So kicking things off is a message from the game director Dimitri, who says they've heard feedback on patch 4.0 and agrees that the data shows that they maybe have taken things to too much of an extreme state where it's too difficult, losing that whole power fantasy of being a space marine that we all enjoy so much. Additionally, they've also pointed out that they will release in the future public test servers, meaning the most dedicated players can have a test run with these patches before they're fully released to the entire public and give some immediate feedback so adjustments can be made more so on the fly. The test servers are set to come out in early 2025. Going into stuff we actually want to hear about though, let's start off with the balancing tweaks being made to operations mode. First up, minimal, average, substantial and ruthless difficulties will all have reduced spawn rates of extremist enemies. In the case of the first three difficulties, they will match the pre-patch 4.0 levels, where Ruthless will have its own reduction put in place. They did point out saying it was a significant reduction, however. Sticking with Ruthless difficulty across both operations and campaign, players' armor has actually been increased by 10% again. This is in reverse to what happened in patch 4.0 where it got reduced. It's now going back up. Hopefully they've got the right balance now. And rounding out the difficulty changes is to Lethal, the new difficulty that came out in patch 4.0, and that's for the tight formation system as they call it. It's been removed. It's been here for a week or something and it's already gone. It just didn't seem to fit with players and gel with them, particularly as they point out the Assault class and the Vanguard class. They need to move around, quickly and actively and be here, there and everywhere. And it was just so penalizing for them to have to be, shoulder to shoulder with their buddies to restore their armor. So I think this is a good change, but they do talk about in the future actually adding some kind of gameplay modifiers down the line, and I would love that, positive and negative ones. Let's mix things up, let's create challenge, and let's create fun, because that's what this game's all about. And then we finally got the big bolter update for operations mode only. They've increased a lot of the damage output for all of the bolter weaponry here, which I just think is critical for general gameplay health and offering variety to every players, so we're not all defaulting to the plasma and the melter. Emperor bless those weapons though, you know what I'm saying. I'll put them up on screen right now so you can see the full damage increases across the board, but the standouts for me have to be the auto bolt rifle going up by a huge 20% damage increase, and of course the bolt sniper rifle going up by 12.5%. I love that thing. The Laz always did it more for me, but maybe now I'll give it another go. And rounding things out, besides a few bug fixes here and there, is all about the AI. There's two key changes here. Bots will deal 30% more damage to bosses, which I think is fantastic. So good for all the solo players out there who just like to privately complete their operations alone. Good for you guys, really pleased for you all. And the next is the zone throbs. They point out that these are often reported as a source of frustration. So what they've done is reduce their shield's effectiveness to alleviate some of that frustration. We're talking that the shield swap cooldown with another paired zone throb is increased by 10%. So that means they won't be able to swap around quite as much, giving you more time to focus fire and take them down. Anyway, that's it for patch 4.1. It's time to test out the bolters. See you later.